Hello, welcome to TisTalk.
This is a podcast coming from Tisbury, Wiltshire and surrounding villages. I'm Julianne Murphy.
And I'm Mary Myers. It's the week beginning October the 14th. Hello, Julianne.
Hello, Mary. So, Mary, who have you talked to this week?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I pre-recorded an interview with Amanda Burford up at the preschool, and we thought we'd have her on today. Really nice to talk to her up at the preschool, which is tucked away up at the Nada Centre. You'd hardly know it was there.
No, I don't know where it is.
No.
What, in the Nada Centre building itself?
Yes, at the far end of the corridor as you go out in and then right. And they've got an outdoor space at the back as well.
Have they?
Yes.
Oh, how nice.
It's nice, yeah.
I love the Nada Centre.
Lovely little kids as well. And also I've been talking to Peter Shallcross again, and this time it was after a meeting that we both went to at the Victoria Hall. It was a meeting about renewable energy and climate change.
Okay.
And before the What's Ons, we're going to hear from Jan Kalinowski, if I've pronounced his name right, who runs Village Buzz.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of Village Buzz till we actually met that man.
I came across it online, and it's an online magazine that covers the whole of the Nada Valley. And I saw Tisbury up there. I thought, gosh, someone else is covering this area, but not audio like us.
Not audio like us,
but beautifully designed online magazine.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to talk to Jan. And then we've got the What's Ons, and then I think that's it.
Okay. This week, Mary enjoyed a visit to Tisbury Pre-school, where she chatted to the manager, Amanda Burford.
So well. Good. It's just, we know when she's done it, she gets very quiet.
Here I am up at the Nada Centre with Amanda Burford. Thanks for coming on TisTalk.
You're very welcome.
And you are the director, is that right, of the preschool?
Yeah, the manager.
Manager of
preschool.
Tisbury Pre-school.
Yeah.
And you've recently received a very good Ofsted inspection, outstanding. So congratulations about that.
Thanks.
When was the preschool started?
So it started in 1966. It was originally in the Zion Hill Church.
Yes.
Started by June Smart, Barbara Oliver and Sheila Tucker, who were parents in the community, and realised that they needed something for their children and the families.
And so that's quite a long time ago. What about this edition of this preschool up here?
Yeah, so we moved into the Nada Centre in 2016 when Wiltshire Council sort of regenerated the old Nada building. So we've got a purpose-built preschool within the Nada Centre. Since September 2016 we moved in.
Okay. And it's not a state-run thing, is it? It's a private business.
It is. It's run by trustees.
Okay.
So we are a charity, registered charity. You know, as we are a charity and we're not for profit, our prices for the children are very competitive, affordable for most families.
Compared to other preschools in the area?
Yeah. And so, we're always looking for trustees to come on board
Right. Okay.
as volunteers, parents or people in the local community.
Oh,
so
right.
it'd be great to have anybody come and show an interest. It'd be great.
But you managed to obviously make ends meet, and you've expanded over the years?
We have, yeah. So, you know, like you say, we've expanded and grown. We've got room for 23 children each day. We've currently got a good number of children on roll, and the majority of our children receive funding from Wiltshire Council.
Well, they all seem to be a happy bunch. I've just been recording them a little bit. They've obviously had a lovely time today.
Yeah.
What are the hours?
So we're 9 till 3, Monday to Friday. We are term time only, but most of the children attend, you know, some Monday to Friday, all the sessions.
Right.
Some do part-time sessions. But yeah, we've got a lovely outside area. A lot of parents come in and don't realise we've got such a large space.
And inside and out.
Yeah, and it's accessible in all weathers.
And what are the ages?
So we take children from 2 years until 4 when they go on to school.
And what motivated you to start? What's your background?
So I've always been, since leaving school, you know, ambition to work with children. So I went to college many years ago. I've been at the preschool since 2014. Love sort of seeing all the families and the siblings come through.
Great.
It's really good. I've got a lovely team of staff.
How many staff have you got?
So we've got 2 other full-time members of staff, and we've got a lovely lady in the village who does bank staff for us.
What was the inspection like? Because there's been a bit of controversy in the news about these one-word inspections. So when schools are graded low, really awful. Obviously, having an outstanding, fantastic for you, but was it daunting to have the inspection?
I think our last inspection was 2016, where we got good. We were sort of waiting a long time, 2016 until 2024 is a long time, and it was, are they coming today? Are they coming today? And when we got the call, because they phoned the day before, we were like, they're actually coming. And it was lovely. The inspector was absolutely lovely. She reassured us all through the inspection and gave us time. And to hear her say, you are outstanding, it was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, that's great. So you actually heard on the day?
Yes, she told us and my team on the day.
So Amanda, that all sounds great. Can you say a little bit more about some of the voluntary help you're looking for?
Yeah, so we'd love to get, people in the community involved. We used to have a lady who used to come in and, read a story to the children for sort of 10 minutes at the end of the session. The children love meeting new people. So if anybody's got a skill or 10 minutes, half an hour to come and read or, anything.
Or play music.
Play music, that would be lovely.
And then what about being a trustee? What would that entail and how long... So what sort of time commitment would that be?
To become a trustee, we tend to meet every half term, every 6 weeks. And it's just to sort of help make decisions on financial side of the preschool and have a sort of, an interest in the preschool and the education for children in the village, really. An important part is fundraising to sort of help support the preschool. So if anybody's got any, great fundraising ideas, we tend to do quizzes at the Boot in Tisbury, raffles, bring in buy sales, all sorts of things. So if anybody's got any great fundraising ideas, then that would be great too.
I'll come and get your bottle with you.
Yes.
So Amanda, just some fun questions now. What gets you out of bed in the morning?
It's usually my dog, telling me it's time to get up. He needs to go outside.
Yes, good. And what favourite disc would you take to a desert island?
Oh, it'd have to be Coldplay. We Pray is a really good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about your likes and dislikes about Tisbury? Likes first?
Likes, I think it would be the lovely swimming pool that we've got right next door, really. We had our leavers party there in July for the children going on to school, and it was a lovely, lovely day. So yeah, definitely the swimming pool.
Great. And any dislikes?
I would say the cost of rent, to be honest. As we're in the Nada Centre, the cost of rent for this building from Wiltshire Council is quite high, which is a worry.
Yeah, what about your favourite local view?
I think as we take the children out for a walk, we tend to go down behind St John's towards the skate park. There's a lovely view looking across the Nada Valley.
You are amazingly well placed up here. It's just fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. It's nice.
What about this? Complete the sentence. Not many people know this about Tisbury, but...
We are a lovely preschool located in the Nada Centre, and we've got a lovely outside space.
And not many people know that?
No, when we have, potential parents come in to have a look around and we take them out into the garden, they don't realise that we've got such a large garden.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Now, following a talk given by Michael Bernard about Britain's energy challenge, held some weeks ago, Mary and Peter Shellcross discussed some of the commonly held misconceptions he put forward.
So this was the Nada Community Energy AGM.
Yes.
And we had several of the directors talking about how Nada Community Energy had performed this year and what we've been up to. And then that was followed by a talk by a scientist from the Arctic Base Camp.
Which is a think tank about energy.
I hadn't heard of them before.
No.
I spoke to Michael because he'd come to Green Drinks and I was impressed with him then. And his message was all about the grid, the British UK grid, and how it's decarbonising and he was talking about the mix of renewables which were going into the grid and how we've come away from fossil fuels in a big way. It was a myth-busting kind of talk, wasn't it?
Yes, I thought that was the best bit about wind farms and about wind turbines. And somebody said, oh, but what about all the birds that they kill? And he showed that more birds are killed by cats by hundreds of % more.
And also he was talking about mitigations you can do. So you can actually put a radar on these things so they actually stop when they see a rare bird coming. So,
yes.
So if it's big enough, like a raptor, and he
Yes.
gave some examples how there haven't been any mortality of... I think it's a wedge-tailed eagle or something, since they shut them down, and they can shut them down up to 400 times a day,
yes.
just momentarily,
Yeah.
and it only affects their output by 1%.
Yes.
So that definitely is a red herring.
What was another myth busted for you that stands out?
I think it's the intermittent nature of renewables, because I thought how much backup do you need when the sun doesn't shine at night or the wind stops
Yeah, that's
blowing.
always an issue that people bring up, isn't it?
Yeah, and he dealt with that really, really well. Basically, there's different ways of dealing with that, but one is to produce or have facility for far more electricity than is actually needed at one time, so you build in redundancy.
Yes.
You do have backups, but you can have... one of the interesting backups, which is small scale at the moment, is pushing water up into a reservoir when you don't need the electricity, when it's spare. So when the sun is shining and everything is up to capacity, you can use it to push water into a reservoir, and then when you do need the electricity, release it, and it drives some turbines. So I know I
Yes.
visited one in Wales.
And of course, he had this really simple graph which showed that, of course, when the wind tends not to blow so strong, solar tends to be stronger. So, in the summer months, solar sort of takes over a bit from wind. I think he said that wind now is generating about 35% of our national need, isn't it? Which is
Yes,
pretty...
it's more than gas. Gas is the
Yes,
second, isn't it? And
yeah.
solar is actually quite good because it does local need. So it's good as a local power source. But I think the argument in the room was we should have small-scale wind turbines as well, community-based.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so NADA Community Energy is focused mostly on solar at the moment, isn't it? And you're on the board, of course. Is there any sort of thought about a wind turbine locally here, do you think, for us in Tisbury?
There's sort of feelings about it,
Okay,
but at the moment the law is that even if there's one objection,
Yeah.
the application is turned down.
Right.
So the law's got to be changed. And I think the general feeling in the room would one community turbine would be a really good idea.
Anyway, well, that's interesting and good. Thank you.
TisTalk, a podcast from Tisbury on tistalk.buzzsprout.com.
Now, before we hear from Jan Kalinowski, here's 3 minutes for you with Lorraine Connell, a yoga teacher from Hatch.
Hello everyone, this is Lorraine. If you don't know me, I'm a yoga teacher based in Hatch. Welcome to today's episode of 3 Minutes for You for TisTalk. The focus of today's session is sun salutations, which are a yoga movement practice. But today we're going to explore a seated version, or you can of course do these standing if you prefer. So if you're doing them seated, start by finding a chair to sit in, ideally one with a firm seat rather than a sofa or a soft armchair. As you sit or stand, start to follow the flow of your breath. Where does your body rise with your in-breath and sink with your out-breath? And on your next in-breath, in your own time, lift your hands forward and up, just as high as is comfortable for you. Now, as you breathe out, bring your hands down to rest on your thighs and lean your upper body as far forward over your knees as you comfortably can. Next breath in, still with your hands on your thighs, reach your bottom behind you and draw the centre of your chest forward, squeezing your elbows in toward your waist. Breathe out again and let your upper body soften forwards towards your knees. Breathe in, lift your torso up to sit tall and lift your hands forward and up again. Finally, breathe out and slowly lower your hands back to your knees. Let's do this together 2 more times. So breathe in, lift your hands forward and up. Breathe out, bring your hands down to rest on your thighs and lean your upper body forwards. Breathe in, reach your bottom out behind you and draw the center of your chest forwards, elbows squeezing in. Breathe out again and let your upper body soften forwards over your knees. Breathe in, lift your torso to sit tall and then lift your hands forwards and up again. Breathe out and lower your hands back to your knees. Breathe in and lift your hands forward and up as high as is comfortable. Breathe out, bring your hands down to rest on your thighs and lean forwards. Breathe in, reach your bottom behind you on the seat, draw your chest forwards, elbows squeeze towards your waist. Breathe out again and let your upper body soften forwards over your knees. Breathe in, lift your torso up to sit tall, lift your hands up. Breathe out and slowly lower your hands back towards your waist. And before you return to the rhythm of your day, just take a moment to come back to your breath and notice how you feel right now. Thank you for joining me again today. If you'd like to try a yoga class with me, either at the Nada Centre or at Pit House Tennis Club, just text or WhatsApp me on 07720 236 536. But for now, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Follow us on Instagram at TisTalk Radio.
Mary and I met up with Jan Kalinowski, the editor of the online magazine The Village Buzz.
Okay, Village Buzz is a magazine that my wife and I started together about 3 years ago. Village Buzz started as a magazine for 7 villages in the Nada Valley. Being a graphic designer of over 40 years, standing, being based in London, I love graphic design, and one of my bugbears when receiving magazines, from village magazines or what have you, is the kind of poor quality of the design and production that used to bug me a little bit. And I always used to say to my wife, Jill, do you know what? I could do something better than this. The trouble with the magazine was that, especially with COVID, the actual cost of the print went absolutely through the roof. And because we were an advertising-funded based magazine, a lot of advertisers decided to back out because of COVID, etc., etc. And we were left with the problem that the amount of advertisers that were left, we couldn't fund the printing of the magazine, which had reached nearly 800 copies a month.
Yeah.
So we decided to try online. And that's what we have done for the last 2 years.
Okay.
We can produce as many pages as we want. We can produce them as deeply as we want as well. And it just gives us a lot more flexibility. And also the flexibility to reach a far larger audience at no additional cost to us. A lot of people do not have computers, and we have been approached to produce the odd magazine printed version for people, and it's just not cost effective, to be honest with you. So we're trying to educate people to say, oh, hey, come on, get an iPad, get an iPhone, or what have you. Our magazine can be read on an iPhone, Android, or Mac.
Yeah.
And that is the way of the future, unfortunately.
And surely
It's a
there's
barrier.
very few people now that don't have a phone. So
that's very true.
So
that's
really, most people are online one way or another.
They are. And also, I mean, the one big important thing for us is to make the magazine as colourful and attractive as possible. So it makes people, when they receive the copy as an email, it looks attractive enough. All they've got to do is click the cover and it opens up as a PDF.
Yeah.
People have to subscribe, and we would love more people to subscribe to the magazine. It's free of charge, and hey, if you live in different villages or whatever, give us that information about what's happening in your different villages as well, and we will put that forward. We will put that clip here online in our magazine, and it'll be, and we'll make it as attractive as possible. We also invite people. There are so many people in these villages who are so interesting. We've got generals, we've got politicians, we've got all these people, they're crying out loud. If you've got some interesting information about your parents, even from the wartime or whatever, send us this stuff with any photographs, and we'll produce a beautiful article for the magazine for you to let other people know in the villages around here, your history.
Yeah,
what's interesting.
Talking of history, Jan, tell us where your name comes from.
Yeah, I bought this name online, actually. No, I didn't, joking apart. My parents were Polish. They came over after the war, just after the war, and I was born in London, but I was brought up in Bolton, Lancashire.
Hence the northern accent.
The northern accent. That's it, basically.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
How long have you lived in the Nadder Valley?
The Nadder Valley, well, about 12 years now, 12 years. Prior to
Chamberlain?
Compton Chamberlain, yes.
So if someone's got a really interesting idea for an article here in Tisbury or around the surrounding area, how do they contact you?
All they've got to do is email me at Jan, that's Jan, at villagebuzz.online, and that's it. And all they've got to do is send me some copy in Word documents or whatever they want to do. And if they've got some photographs, they can email them over to me as well as JPEGs. And then I will lay the whole article out for them. And then I will send them a copy for approval. And if they're happy with it, we will publish it. And then they will have a visual copy of their story or what have you to pass on to their relatives or family or whatever in the future.
Oh, okay. Lovely. Thank you very much, Jan.
My pleasure.
And if you'd like to have a look at the Village Buzz, which is a monthly magazine for villages in and around the Nadder Valley, go to villagebuzz.online. And the October issue is out now. And finally, we have the What's On listings.
Hello, these are the What's Ons for the week beginning Monday the 14th of October. On Tuesday the 15th, there's chair yoga at the Hinton Hall, organised by the Memory Group. It's free and runs from 11:15 to 12:15. There's also an Environment Committee meeting at the Tisbury Parish Council, which starts at 6 in the Parish Reading Room. The public are welcome to attend. On Wednesday the 16th, there's a Tisbus outing to Bath, departing at 9:30am. The fare is £12, and you can contact David Milas at 07500 802 525 or email coordinator@tisbus.co.uk. Also on Wednesday the 16th, the Tisbury Memory Group meets from 10am to 12 noon at the Hinton Hall, and the Tisbury Gardening Club meets from 7 to 7:30 at the Methodist Hall. On Thursday the 17th, there's afternoon tea and Betsy's quiz at 2:30 at the Victoria Hall, which runs until 4:15pm. In Hindon, the Farrant Singers are presenting a chamber concert starting at 8pm in St John's Church. On Friday, you could watch Shakespeare's Measure for Measure at the Wool Store Theatre in Codford this Friday and Saturday nights at 7:30pm.
Here's Mike Whitaker to give us a few more details.
It's a dark comedy, or the darker part is very topical, in fact, because it's about a man, a new ruler, who comes in and says, right, we're not having any kind of nonsense, and we don't want to have people making their girlfriends pregnant before marriage, so anybody who does that is going to be executed. Unfortunately, one person, a young man, is in that position, and his sister goes to plead for his life, and lo and behold, this new ruler says, well, if you spend the night with me, I might let your brother off. And he relies on his good reputation to not be found out. And it sorts itself out in the end, and there's a lot of fun along the way.
And just as a reminder, tickets are £12 and are available online if you go to the Woolstore Codford website and type in Measure for Measure. Tickets are also available on the door on Friday and Saturday evenings.
On Saturday the 19th, there's a book swap at the Reading Room in Fonthill Bishop. The Footpath Club walk at 9:15, starting at the Nadder Close car park. It's a 6-mile circular walk across Martin Down National Nature Reserve. There's also community cafe breakfast from 9:30 to 12 at the Methodist Church, and from 10 to 11am, the Tisbury Country Market is in the Victoria Hall. To round off the day, there's the Royal Ballet Encore, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland at the Victoria Hall at 5pm. At the end of the week, on Sunday the 20th, a Seventh Arts film about the artist Rembrandt is showing at the Victoria Hall at 7pm. That's all for this week. Cheerio!
That's all from us. We've been Julianne Murphy
and Mary Myers, with special thanks to Finn Murphy and Louis Davison.
You can contact us on tistalkradio@gmail.com.